The following fight is scheduled for 3 rounds of action in the welterweight division. It's our main event, and the world is watching! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He is an MMA specialist and stands 6 feet 1 inches tall. He weighed in officially at 170.8 pounds. His 19-fight record stands at 13 wins and 6 losses. He fights out of La Plata, Buenos Aires, Argentina, and is Laureano Staropoli. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He is a grappling specialist and stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. He weighed in officially at 170.6 pounds, and across his 20-fight career has built a record of 18 victories, just 1 defeat, and a single no contest. He fights out of Nantes, France, and he is the Lazy King, Abdoul Abdouraguimov. Your referee in charge, Rich Mitchell.
Gentlemen, you're going to protect yourselves at all times. Obey my instructions at all times. You keep fighting till I tell you to stop. Touch gloves if you want. Step back.
Ooh, frosty. Intensity from Laureano Staropoli, who's in the black trunks. Abdoul Abdouraguimov is in the green.
Disciplina.
You ready? You ready? Let's go.
All right, Lazy King walking his way into range. He's so loose and relaxed, even in the striking range. Like anytime he knows that you step forward, he can grab a hold of you, and then you're in all kinds of problems. And Staropoli knows this as well. This is why he's measuring at the moment, trying to figure out how best to start this bout, how best to find his way in and hit Abdul with something in the early goings.
Dan, it's one thing to call yourself the Lazy King and to kind of live up to the nickname by being efficient. It's entirely more difficult than people probably realize to recognize the path of least resistance, especially against someone as dangerous as Laureano Staropoli.
And Staropoli is an incredibly dangerous fighter because he throws with intention and intensity, and he loves fighting. He really enjoys being in these main event situations with the crowd against him, and also knowing that he's got a real problem in front of him with the likes of Abdoul Abdouraguimov. If he's able to come out with the victory, it is a tremendous victory, not only for him, but his camp. Obviously, Pereira in his camp, Glover Teixeira, he wants to take that victory back to those guys. This would mean a lot to him if he's able to topple the Lazy King.
Chopping away at one another's legs here in the early goings of this fight. Staropoli trying to get the jab going as well.
The Lazy King using the inside of the foot to the calf. I like that. Nice work by Staropoli here, Tosha. I think Lazy King's going to go in a minute. I think he's waiting for the right opportunity and trying to make Staropoli frustrated. He doesn't like moving backwards, Staropoli doesn't. At some point, he's going to be tempted to throw with power, and that's the point where Lazy King's going to disappear underneath and try and get this fight to the floor.
Staropoli has yet to show an uppercut as deterrent, yet to show a knee as deterrent. Ooh, stomping kick to the lead leg there from Lazy King, taking away some of that mobility if he can land a couple more.
Oh, that was a good right hand.
Right out at the end of that right hand, snapped the chin of Lazy King around.
Caught Lazy King leaning away, utilized the full extent of his reach, did Staropoli there. And he knows he can't be a sitting duck against Abdul.
Juking back and forth here for Laureano Staropoli.
Hey.
Not going to offer a stationary target for Lazy King to shoot on.
I like how aggressive Lazy King's being here. When you have a ground game that's so feared, it must give you so much confidence just to walk forward and watch people try and get away from you, knowing that as soon as you get your hands on them, you could put them in a world of hurt.
Well, especially against a fighter with the style and the history of Laureano Staropoli, who likes so much to be the one moving forward and leading the dance and being the aggressor in these stand-up exchanges, forcing him to retreat and move around the outside can really take a guy outside of what makes him most dangerous. And that Laureano Staropoli offense, a lot of the most effective versions of it have come when he's moving forward in his career.
And the other downside as well for Staropoli moving away is that he's slowly circling himself onto the fence, which is
off balance there. The hook helped push Lazy King down to his butt for a second.
Got to be cautious lifting his chin up when Staropoli throws.
Timed it on the knee there, and Lazy King grabs the legs of Laureano Staropoli and immediately onto the back.
Man, he's so quick, he works so fast in these situations.
He was able to pull Staropoli back awkwardly over his own left leg. And look at this, scramble to the top position.
Beautiful.
Oh, that choke! Look at the tight grip.
Setting up that Darce choke. You can see the pressure on the back of the head. Staropoli's trying to drive his head back to the floor, trying to drive his shoulders back to make it more difficult for Lazy King.
Use that baseball bat grip, and now the squeeze.
Oh, man.
Stepping into the full mount here. Staropoli is able to get his body away, take off some of that pressure. Good defense at the end by Laureano Staropoli.
Really good grappling defense there, aware of all the problems that were coming in his direction and was able to stay safe.
Round two set to begin in Lyon, France. Laureano Staropoli in the black trunks. Sean O'Connell, Dan Hardy, cage side for our main event at LDLC Arena. Capping off an incredible card so far tonight. 4 PFL Europe Championship belts handed out earlier. 4 $100,000 checks. Patrick Abdouraguimov remains undefeated with a knockout in our co-main event, and here we are capping off the evening. A fascinating first round between these two.
Staropoli again, forcing Lazy King onto his back foot a couple of times and really testing him with that reach. Lazy King's got to try and get his head from one side to another instead of going backwards, because Staropoli will start to push forward with more confidence like he does there. Maybe this is Abdul trying to draw him in so he can level change and take him down.
You can see Laureano Staropoli fighting that temptation to blitz forward too aggressively. Try to keep good footwork discipline.
2 good calf kicks in a row.
Made much harder by those kind of attacks from Lazy King. Oh, a nasty heavy one landed, and Staropoli did uncork a combination. 90 seconds gone in round number 2.
There's tension in this room right now. Staropoli holding the center, trying to push Abdul back for the first time, who level changes, drives the fight to the floor. Great switch on this by Staropoli, who finds himself up against the fence with Abdul on his back again.
Good work by Staropoli to grab that inside switch and then crawl over to the fence.
Beautiful in Abdul's style is the variety. He just switches from one thing to the next. Managed to get the fight to the floor, but Staropoli's not accepting. Still trying to build up, scrambling safely. This is good work. He gets back to his feet. He's got to break that grip. Abdul with half a round here to work in this second. Going to try and return this fight to the floor. Don't be surprised if he chops into that near side leg. Sweeps him to the floor. There it is. Oh, almost. Great balance by Staropoli. Looking at a Kimura trap here. Man.
Elevation of the hips there by Lazy King, but again, Staropoli getting those feet back on the floor, elevating himself. Look at this.
It's very clever work with that back knee, driving into the hip of Staropoli to force him upright. And again with the knee.
And the way that he just changes the angle on the resistance, he turns the corner. That's how he got this to the ground in the first place.
Potential arm triangle set up here.
That's a tight squeeze.
That looks tight.
That's very tight, and now he steps all the way off. Staropoli grabbing correct defense, grabbing his own leg, keeping his hands locked. The problem is there's a lot of time for Abdoul Abdouraguimov to adjust his grip and to create more and more pressure.
Staropoli using that grip around the back of his leg to hold this arm triangle off, but now Lazy King's managed to separate it.
Steps into the full mount. A lot of people like to finish this from side mount. Tough to get a squeeze in the right angle from the mount position.
Looks to me like he's a little bit too high to finish this, but you see Staropoli trying to kick out here.
Certainly forcing Laureano Staropoli to be defensive. And you can see that some of that space there, the carotid artery pulsing in the neck of Laureano Staropoli. Great job by our camera crew. That's the blood flow that Lazy King's trying to cut off.
Exactly, and he's keeping Staropoli in this fight right now. You can see he's a little bit too high on this arm triangle, but you know that Abdul is going to bail on this in a moment and utilize this position to set the next thing up. But the incredible toughness and submission defense of Staropoli here. Most people would have been unconscious by now.
Out of danger temporarily, but still mounted is Laureano Staropoli. Lazy King on top. Final 10 seconds of round 2. Nasty elbows here and a couple of left hands.
Watch the back of the head.
To round 3 we go. One more round in our main event.
Ready.
Here in Lyon, France at LDLC Arena. If there's an open seat in this crowd, I don't know where it is. A lot of folks bought their tickets to see the Lazy King in the green shorts.
Roughly pushing forward. And on a single leg though, Lazy King runs into the fence. It's just so fluid the way that he latches onto his opponent. And Staropoli's doing everything right here. He's trying to strip the grip. He's trying to stay square to his opponent. He drops his center of gravity and he gets off the fence there.
Great work by Laureano Staropoli.
I like that jab to the body. That might open up a headshot if he invests in that a little more.
Southpaw stance now from Staropoli. Goes back to orthodox. Right hand and left hook. Lazy King stays out of range.
Beautiful timing, man. It's so quick. The balance takedown offense of Staropoli is certainly leveled up.
And the level of conditioning necessary to both try to execute these takedowns and to avoid them. Really a testament to the professionalism of both of these fighters.
What do you reckon so far, Sean, here?
I think it's 2 rounds to Lazy King, but Laureano Staropoli has had his moments. He had that nice right hand in the first round. And you never know if judges score submission attempts like that near choke. I mean, that was less than a minute of control for Lazy King in round 1, so it could be a round apiece.
I feel like Lazy King's baiting Staropoli here, who's keeping really excellent discipline by not stepping in with big power punches. Because he knows straight away Lazy King's gonna be underneath him in no time. Oh, that was a good jab from Staropoli. Caught Lazy King on one foot as he was throwing a kick.
Lazy King's only loss has come from a knockout. Staropoli continuing his efforts to try to get to that chin.
He axe kick. Never see those very often. And a back kick. He picked up his taekwondo black belt since the last time we saw it. There's a good calf kick. Crash the knees together as Staropoli. I think we're going to see another takedown here in a moment. Last 2 minutes, that was another great right hand. Part of the benefit of Lazy King being so relaxed is that he rides those punches really well. He's like a reed in the wind. He's calling him on. Like, Staropoli knows the game. He's like, if I stand in front of you and start wailing, you're going to be underneath and on my legs. And that calf is really starting to cause Staropoli some problems.
The inside of the calf has a Alex Pereira tattoo on it. The outside of the calf has some bruising from those accumulated calf kicks thrown by Lazy King.
.90 seconds left in this last round. Lazy King with the switch front kick. And then we're going to see him really try and pressure a submission in this last minute. There's no doubt he wants to finish for this Leon crowd, and it's almost definitely going to come with a choke of some sort. He's being very clever here, trying to draw Staropoli in. I think he also probably surprised at the discipline of Staropoli, who finally finds himself with his butt on the canvas, working a switch again, but you can see Lazy King's covering both of the legs of Staropoli, which means the switch is useless to him. Now he's climbing up the back, but Lazy King might lose this position if Staropoli's able to get all the way back to his feet out in the open.
Oh. Instead, Lazy King takes the back and grabs the neck. 30 seconds left in this fight.
Working on that rear naked choke. Staropoli's going to be trying to defend this best he can, but he doesn't want to be in this position on the scorecards for the closing of the fight.
Oh, and that one is around the chin. Can he get a tight enough squeeze? Lazy King pulling on the short choke.
Man, what a squeeze. What great submission defense from Staropoli.
Lazy King will chop away to finish this fight and finish on top. Main event comes to a close and heads to the judges' scorecards in Lyon.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to our judges' scorecards. 2 of the judges scored this bout 30-27, the other 29-28. All for your winner via unanimous decision, the Lazy King, Abdoul Abdouraguimov.
Lazy King victorious on French soil yet again. And a conversation with Dan Hardy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, the Lazy King.
Mesdames et messieurs, aux côtés de votre vainqueur, le Lazy King.
That was a tough fight, my friend. You showed some development in your striking, but the wrestling was incredible, as always. Were you surprised he was able to defend those submissions?
Voilà, c'était un combat très intriguant. On a vu évidemment la partie striking où tu as progressé, mais la partie lutte était absolument phénoménale. Est-ce que tu étais impressionné par sa capacité à défendre?
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, bonjour, c'est Lazy King et l'heure est une lazy victoire. So, thank you very much. I wasn't surprised because he's an experienced tough fighter. He was disciplined. Even his corner always shouted discipline. I understood that he would be careful. So I said, why not try my striking game, you know, to improve, to have more confidence, you know. And I had. And he has a good defense. My strength wasn't there today, but my striking was better. I have more confidence now, you know. So for the future fights, it will be better.
Je pense que je continue de m'améliorer au niveau du striking. La confiance est là. Je m'améliore dans ce registre. Mais effectivement, j'ai négocié un petit peu tout cela avec mon adversaire tout au long du combat.
What does it feel like to have this amazing Leon crowd supporting you? As soon as we announced that the Lazy King was on the card, the tickets started flying out. The people love you, my friend. How does that feel?
Quel effet ça te fait d'avoir ce public lyonnais avec toi qui t'a porté pendant le combat? Dès qu'on a annoncé ta présence, ça y est, les gens se sont arrachés les places.
Of course, it feels great. I'm thankful for the people and everyone who supports me. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup, mesdames et messieurs. And you said he is a striker, you know. Everyone said he's a 𝗘𝗨𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗘, but I survived, you see. So I need more confidence in my striking. I had it already, but I hadn't the ability to show in the real fight. Today it was, and I feel great because I wasn't, stressed just only for wrestling. Now I become a more MMA fighter, more complete. So thank you very much, everybody, and just message for my grandmother in Dagestan. Abba Bibi, salam alaikum. Woo!
Effectivement, j'ai pu progresser dans plusieurs registres, mais évidemment l'attention du public de Lyon, ça représente beaucoup pour moi, mais j'ai pu montrer là encore ma progression en ce qui concerne le striking, et j'ai pu faire la différence là aussi du côté du sol. Il a salué également sa grand-mère du côté du Daghestan.
This is the Dagestan flag, ladies and gentlemen, France, Dagestan. I'm a world citizen. I don't care where I am, but I know from where I came, from Dagestan, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Salam alaikum.
Je suis un vrai citoyen du monde, ça c'est le drapeau du Daghestan, que ce soit la France ou le Daghestan, peu importe. Je sais où je suis, peu importe où je suis, mais je me souviens toujours d'où je viens.
Lazy King, I have one more question for you. A great finish to the end of 2024, but what does 2025 hold for you, and when do we get to see you fight next?
Une dernière question, Lazy King, 2024 se solde avec cette somptueuse performance. Et qu'en est-il de 2025? Où est-ce qu'on te retrouvera à l'avenir?
I don't know what, but the adventure continues, and like always, I'm looking to fight the best in the world and chasing the belt like any fighter in the world. So let's go for the belt. PFL, the PFL worldwide needs me to watch because people in the United States, they wasn't able to watch the fight tonight because it wasn't available there. So people need the Lazy King worldwide, especially in the United States. So let's go.
Je ne saurais vous répondre précisément, mais en tout cas, la déclaration d'intention est là. J'aimerais le titre, je veux une ceinture et PFL Worldwide, PFL Global.
If it was a 5 rounds fight, I could head with a calf kick, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm here for the adventure, my friend. The adventure continues. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Lazy King, Abdoul Abdouraguimov.
Hey, what's up, guy? This is Francis Ngannou. Subscribe now.